Moving on from the relative age effect, in this video I will be talking about the psychological factors in talent development and whether talent needs trauma. There is considerable evidence that psychological factors are vital to achieve elite performance. Orlick and Partington in 1998, for example, identified psychological success factors such as high-level commitment, imagery, focus and short and long-term goals that distinguish successful athletes from their less successful counterparts. Gould and colleagues 2002 backed this up as they found that successful athletes were more committed, focused and engaged in more mental preparation than their less successful performers. These three factors are vital for Olympic athletes if they want to be successful, as they must train for 4 years, and keeping these three factors intact is the difference between successful and less successful Olympians. This is because athletes that achieve the greatest success constantly employ psychological skills, and this consequently optimizes learning and focus, and this helps negotiate the inevitable challenges of development. Despite this evidence-based, psychological characteristics and their appropriate deployment are constantly overlooked in talent identification and development practices. Study from McNamara and Collins 2010 found from elite and developing sport performers a range of psychological factors that aided the realization of potential. The psychological processes were goal-setting, planning and performance evaluation, and these helped the athletes benefit fully from practice and development opportunities. PCDEs, known as psychological characteristics of developing excellence, includes the traits of characteristics which are the tendency to and ability to win, and these have been shown to play a crucial role in the realization of potential. According to Courtier in 1999, good developers in sport systematically develop psychological characteristics of developing excellence that allow them to interact effectively with developmental opportunities. Now, as I've spoken about the psychological factors and the benefits of it, for the second part of the video I'm going to be speaking about whether talent needs trauma. Clough et al. 2002 research has shown the growth of mindset and the psychological characteristics of developing excellence have been positively associated with both outcome and process on the talent pathway. High-level performers go through influential low points, and these lows often represent a turning point or refocusing. An example of a successful athlete having to overcome trauma and refocus is boxing heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. Joshua was unbeaten and had claimed 21 victories by knockout, and there was talk of him becoming the best heavyweight boxer that has ever lived. However, he was embarrassed by Andy Ruiz in America, as the Mexican knocked him down numerous times and won by TKO. Joshua suffered embarrassment from the nation and the boxing community, and on paper this was a fight Joshua should have won easy and consequently faced a lot of criticism. From this loss, Joshua had to refocus and rethink how he as a boxer can improve and become even better. He did this by changing his approach to fights, for example, purely focusing on the boxing elements and not necessarily the sport science and the conditioning side. Joshua took the rematch with Ruiz straight away, and this was his first fight after the loss because he wanted revenge. Due to refocusing from this trauma, Joshua went on to win the second fight with Ruiz on points, with Ruiz hardly landing any punches on him, as his boxing style was different from the first fight. In my opinion, I think the trauma developed Joshua's talent as he found a different strategy and styles to win fights, and has improved himself as a boxer. This has resulted in Joshua having different approaches to fights, to which he can use depending on the opponent, whereas before the trauma had happened, Joshua's only approach was to knock the opponent out. An analogy that I think best shows what elite athletes go through to get to the very top is the iceberg illusion. This shows how we often get mesmerised by an athlete's above the surface success but don't consider other below the surface opportunity costs and the psychological barriers they face to achieve that success. This analogy shows that you must go through trauma by dealing with failure and persist through disappointment to get to the very top, which develops psychological success. Trauma, however, can only be effective if the athlete does self-reflection. It is suggested that self-reflection and focused quality practice consequently leads to increased efficiency in learning during these years. Furthermore, findings across performance domains show that the development of expertise in adolescence is easier for those who have acquired learned habits and characteristics conducive to cultivating talent. The pathway to excellence is complex, and athletes must successfully negotiate many micro and meso stages, such as slumps of performance, injury, and technique change that occur during development. Davison et al. 1998 outlined the changing requirements of developing athletes from one stage to the next. For example, going from an amateur boxer to a professional boxer. Developing athletes must move along the developmental pathway if they are to fulfill their potential. Without this ability to transfer from one stage of development to the next, as well as successfully to cope with the micro and meso stages encountered within a stage of development, An individual talent may well remain an unfulfilled potential.